Today's episode is sponsored by Some Edibles CBD infused products. That's SUM Edibles and can be found at
someedibles.com.
They have a variety of yummy treats including
vegan organic gummies,
brown buttered chocolate chip cookies,
and marshmallow cereal bars, just to name a few.
For fans of the podcast, you can use the promo code WIFE, that's WIFE, to receive 10% off your order.
Again, promo code WIFE for 10% off your order.
So, head to someedibles.com today. This is Drunken Housewife Reviews. I'm Sarah, the Drunken Housewife.
And I'm the host husband, Ian Kennedy,
who tries to keep me on track. God love him. We are interviewing psychic Artie Hoffman this evening. I am so excited about this interview. Because I'm a believer and Ian really kind of...
I try to keep an open mind, but I don't really see or hear or feel anything.
He's a skeptic. So I call him paranormally challenged.
That's okay. That's his problem, not ours.
Exactly.
That's okay.
I know I've been in some of the most haunted areas, locations with him, and he's walking around like he's a tourist, and I'm okay, seriously, are you feeling that? And he's like, whatever.
Well, put it this way. They say like the mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open.
Well, I try to keep it open. I'm not saying that I don't believe per se, as much as that I have not been able to experience it, but I am open to an experience if it happens to happen. So
I asked a few people, if you were interviewing a psychic, what's the one question you would want to ask them? And a few of them said something that I'm like, duh. How often do you encounter people when they find out that you're a psychic, they're like, oh, what am I thinking right now? And how annoying is that to you?
It definitely happens, but it happens with people who are usually very skeptic or don't believe. They just, because they don't understand it. If you understood it, you wouldn't be saying that. Because when you say, what am I thinking now? That is not being a psychic. That's being a mentalist, which is totally different. A mentalist reads people's minds. But I am going to share with you a funny story, being that you just said that.
Sure. So
here I am. I'm at a local pizzeria nearby that I frequently visit. Well, frequently, once a month or so. And so anyway, so I go into the pizzeria. I haven't been there in a while at this point, actually, but I knew a couple of girls that one was a waitress and one was just, at the pizzeria having a pizza. Both really cute girls. And they both saw me and they were excited to see me because they knew who I am and what I do. And so they came up to me and, I was talking with them. So the guy, the Italian Guido behind the counter, is watching all of this while he's making his pizza, but he's paying attention to what I'm saying. And he saw that I was getting attention from these two beautiful girls. And so he goes so after I get finished, speaking with the girls and I go up there and I'm ready to pay. Mm-hmm. He goes, what's all this psychic stuff that you're doing? He goes, if you're so good, he goes, what am I thinking? But again, that's being a mentalist, but I played along with it. I said, I know exactly what you're thinking. I said, you think that I'm full of crap and I'm saying what I want to say just so I could be with the girls to get in their pants. And you think that I'm just bullshitting them and so I can get my way with them. He goes, damn, you're good.
Well, you weren't wrong.
I think in that situation, you wouldn't have to be a psychic or a mentalist, really.
Well, he was playing. Well, I believe he was just joking with me also when he did it. We just had that personality connection with each other.
Yeah. So I've read a little bit about you, but just for those who don't know who Artie is, tell us a little bit, like at what age were you when you figured out that you had this ability that, you could
27.
27.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have spit before that. No, I learned how to do it. It's not like, I have friends who were born with it. I have friends who were clinically dead, they came back. And then when they came back, after being clinically dead for a couple minutes and came back, from an accident or whatnot,
Sure.
they came back with the gift. And for me, I got a postcard in the mail, in my junk mail. And it was just like, while I was sifting through my junk mail, there was a postcard that said, "How would you like to develop your psychic ability and intuitiveness? Come to the Edgar Casey Foundation in Virginia Beach for this one weekend seminar."
Okay.
Okay, I've heard of Edgar
So-
Casey. Yeah.
Yeah, so I looked at it and I thought it was pretty interesting. And then so I asked my wife, who was my wife at the time, I said, "This looks pretty interesting." I said, "You want to try this with me?" Or I said, I thought it was pretty cool. She says, "Nah, I don't give a crap about that." She goes, "You can go if you want. I don't want to go." So I went away for that one weekend, and there was 50 of us in one large room from all different parts of the country. And they taught you how to open up your heart and mind to be 100% unconditional with your thought. Any thoughts or messages that pull through, just have to keep an open mind. And so they broke us up into little groups. And so whoever you're sitting with, they said, just share your thoughts, no matter how stupid it is, no judgment, just share it. And so I was telling people a lot about my thoughts and everything. And people would tell me I was pretty accurate. And as people were doing back to me. And it's just like, I was just enthralled that something like this exists, or that I could even do something like this. I've never had anything like this, nor did I have a desire. I was read in my late teens, early 20s by other readers. And, I was just a regular client, just going in to see them every once in a blue moon. I just wanted to know about, my money and my love life. And that's all I cared about. But when they said to me, says, "Art, you have the gift too. You could do with what I do." I says, "I don't care about that. I can't see it. I can't even read tomorrow's newspaper, let alone what the future holds."
Mhm.
So, so anyway, but this kind of opened it up. So when I got home, I was reading for friends and family for the next few years. And people were telling me how accurate I was. And so I got to a point in my life where I needed extra money for investments. So for investments that I made. And I'm thinking to myself, other than what I do for a living, I said, what else can I do to make some money? And I'm sitting on my couch. I said, you know what? I know how to do readings. So I threw an ad in the paper and it said, if I don't pull through, no charge.
Okay.
So I didn't want people to think that I was taking advantage of them. And I'm asking for more money than I've ever made before in my life. So 90% of the people paid me. And the other 10% I had to kill.
Well,
Well, you have to do what you have to do.
It's like, there's no free lunch here in America,
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
so, and then by word of mouth and through a little more advertising, a whole career opened up for me. And here I am 33 years later, still rocking and rolling. And I've been all over the place, and I've literally read for over 33,000 people in my career. So,
wow.
Awesome.
And the funny thing is, growing up in junior high and high school, I always wanted to become a therapist because I was always a people person. I felt like I understood people and life pretty well. I have pretty good common sense with life. But I didn't have the patience or the scholastics or the brain power for school. I just sucked at it. Very liked socially. I had great, rave reviews with, my peers and the teachers and all whatnot. But with school, I really sucked. But the thing is, now that I've learned to develop my psychic ability and my mediumship, the funny thing is like now I have therapists, and I've never went to college. And now I have therapists who come see me for answers, or I have other psychics or mediums come to see me for answers. And I just pay attention to the other side, and they give me all the answers. And so I wrote 2 books.
Yes. Tell us about the books.
Yeah, one of the books is called Angels and Answers. Angels and Answers,
Mhm.
Okay.
which you can get on artiehoffman.com or amazon.com.
Okay.
And the other
Okay.
one is called Have Your Angels Call My Angels.
I love that title.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
in this book, in Angels and Answers, it says, I went to college for 2 years, to the University of Boston in Maryland for 2 years, but that was just to visit my friends.
Yeah, my parents at one point accused me of just going to college so I could party.
Yeah, just to have a good time.
Yeah,
So.
I had a
And
great
there's
time.
a lot of, yeah,
Yeah.
Your Honor, guilty as charged.
Yeah, I had a great time in college. My grades showed that I was having a great time in college. So yeah, I
See, but
totally.
you want to know something? I'm a big believer in college only if you know what you're doing. If you want to go after something specific, to try to figure out what you're doing, it's a very expensive process.
Yeah.
To go to
Yeah.
college to figure out what you want to do. To me, it's literally a waste of time and a big waste of money. If you're going there with purpose, you want to become a doctor or marketing or teacher or whatever it is. Yeah, you go to college or you go to school or VOTech or something, but just to go to school, it's like that to me, that says that you're afraid to embrace life and to go after life.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do you do now? It's like, you know what? Maybe you should take off a year and really zero in on what interests you, or maybe your last year of high school, figure out what really interests you. If you already have something you want to do, by all means, yeah, go to college and go specifically with purpose, but don't take French literature and, and calculus and, Einstein theories when you don't even know what the hell you want. It's like, what the hell is this? And the schools say, well, it's a prerequisite. You're going to have to if you want to graduate. It's bull crap,
Oh, I know. I had a math class where I had to learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide using Roman numerals. And I'm like, when am I going to use this? Yeah. And my mom and dad were like, well, why'd you flunk this math class? And I'm like, well, here, you do these problems. And they're like, oh, why are you learning this? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
That doesn't serve. Listen, if you want to become a carpenter, learn how to cut the wood and learn how to measure and learn how to piece things together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple. You want to be a teacher. Yeah, you're going to have to learn how to do this. But it's an overkill, and I feel like it's extremely political. And like I said, when I do what I do as a psychic and a medium, a psychic is somebody who predicts the past, present, and future. I'm a medical intuitive. I could pretty much a lot of times, most of the times, I could see what's going on with the person's body inside. As far as people's love life, I could usually predict future love. I'm really good with that. And, as far as, what the hell you're doing with that person or,
question all the time with this guy.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
He says, okay, you little puppy, come on with me. Come on, boy. Come on. You can come in my room. Come on, watch TV with me. Go ahead. So,
yeah. We met on the internet, and those internet things never last. And, 20 going on 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years.
Yeah. So
wow, when internet romance first started. Wow.
Yeah. We were pioneers in,
I'm
internet.
Surprised you didn't start your own business in the internet romance business then.
Well, he was funny story, still in college when we met. So
that's a whole story.
Yeah, that's a whole story. Yeah, he's not even working in his major anymore. Right? So yeah. Neither one of us is working in what we majored in. So again,
Yeah.
Well,
so a medium is somebody who communicates to people's loved ones who passed away, or spirits or angels, or you learn to calm yourself down. You listen to voice, let God, or the angels, the spiritual world, just channel information to you. You could hear it in audio, voices within your head, or you literally get videos in your head or pictures in your thoughts. It's like right now, if you could picture what your kitchen looks like or what your bedroom looks like, that picture that you have in your head right now, that's how I see. The spiritual world will randomly throw me images like that. Whereas for you, it's a recall. For me, it's just it's random thoughts instantly. And I just learned to believe in it. It's unconditional. So, and I just share my thoughts. Now, there are people who will deny what I have to say to them. And, at first I would get nervous because I'd be looking at somebody, after they just paid me a decent amount of money, and I'm looking at them with a guilty conscience thinking, I really suck at this and I feel so bad for taking your money. But now I get to a point where it's like, it's okay if you don't agree with me. I'm not looking for your approval. I'm telling you my thoughts. I'm telling you my feelings, and this is what I see. And when I see things very clearly, even when people deny me, when I know I'm not wrong, I know I'm not wrong. There are times where it's like I'll get images and I'll say, oh, well, what does, why am I seeing waterfalls? Why am I seeing, for all I know, they could, say, well, we're going on a trip to Niagara Falls, or, that was our honeymoon, or that was, so like I get random stuff. If people are hiring me and they just hire me for a short period of time, rather than me just tell them things, I say, randomly, I say, well, let's just cut to the chase, ask me questions and I'll give you the answers. I said, and don't challenge me. So, well, you should know. I said, no, well, if I go that route, the spirit world could like give me other information that, you weren't even thinking of. And then you're going to have to pay me for more time to tell you what's going on. So I really, when I read people, I really try, I'm very conscientious about not trying to go longer than what they want me to because, I'm not out to gouge people or try to take more money. And or I'll let them know. I said, well, listen, you're half hour's up or you're an hour's up. Do you want to continue? Are you okay with this? I let them know. I don't want to just go and go and go. And oh, by the way, you owe me an extra yada, yada, yada dollars,
Yeah.
Sure.
So I never do that. I never do that. So
well, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
I like to consider myself one of the good guys.
I think, yeah, that would be considerate because, most people would probably, or, there are people out there that would be like, well, they're half hours up, but we're still talking. I could probably get another, time and a half off of them. I'm just going to keep going and then, roll them at the end. So yeah, it's thanks for being one of the good guys.
When somebody ever says to a psychic, listen, I only have one question. I only have one more question. No, it turns into 5 to 7 to 12 questions.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well,
it's never just that one question.
Well, because one question can roll into another, and
And what about this? And what about that? And
exactly. And it's like,
that just happened to me yesterday. A girl said, I'll pay you for the one question if you could just tell me this. And then she asked me about 7 other questions. I said, well, you're going to have to give me your credit card now because your one question just turned into 7 questions and stuff. So, and it's not that, are there people who do what I do and manipulate the public? Absolutely. The other people who are shamans who try to take advantage of the public. And as soon as somebody says, oh, somebody put the eyes on you, somebody put the evil spirit on you and, put a cloud on you and it's like, as soon as they say that, just say thank you and walk away, because the only person who put the eyes on you or who's putting that seed on you is the person who just said it to you to make you believe. And for $12,000 later, I'll remove the curse. I'll do the hokey pokey and burn a candle and
shake chicken bones at you.
And when people are very vulnerable with their love life, their finances, or they are missing their loved one, people, even the smartest people, when you're emotionally invested in someone or something, they're going to pay because they want to be protected or they want things to get better, because when emotions are high, smarts and intelligence goes right out the window. Emotions always rule.
Oh yeah. You hear stories all the time about somebody that like their entire life savings went to psychics or medium, and your missing loved one is near water, and it's like, please give me something other than near water. And it's like, $50,000 later, they're near water in a forest. You hear.
But then there are people, I have friends, and including myself, pretty dead on accurate about many, many, many of things. I mean, no one psychic or medium is ever 100%, you have situations, I call it what's known as psychic probabilities. So in other words, not everything in life in your future is written in stone. There are certain things in life that are written in stone in your future. Come hell to high water, you're going to experience this, or you're going to meet that person or whatever. But then there are situations where you have a spider web of choices. And this is just the way your life is, where you are with that situation. So what do I mean by that? Well, say somebody is having a problem in their relationship. And I said, well, if you stay with them, this is what's going to happen. If you go to counseling, this is what's going to happen. If you go with the other person, this is what's going to happen. And if you leave them, this is what's going to happen. Well, Artie, what do you see me doing? Well, according to the cards, I can tell you what the best scenario is. I says, but this is your free will and choice. I only told you what the outcome will be based on the direction of whatever choice you make. I said, but if I was in your shoes, because I'm not emotionally invested, this is what I would do. Now, just because I suggested it doesn't mean that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you a really good story, a perfect example. So I'm doing a reading. I'm doing a reading for this one woman. And mind you, I do not remember 98% of the people who I read for. And I don't remember 99% of the things that I say to people.
Well, that'd be impossible.
It's for my own protection. It's my own emotional protection. So I'm not connected to everybody else's garbage or life or whatever.
That makes sense.
So a lady walks into my place. And she started dancing for me. No, I'm only kidding. So a lady walks into my place.
Oh man, that would have been a great story.
Yeah, that was good. Sorry, folks. Next show at 11. So, so the lady walks into my place and she's covered from tattoo from neck all the way down to the toes, all over her body. And she said to me, she goes, Art, she goes, I've been thinking about you every single day for the last 2 years. And I go, huh?
Okay.
I said, and a little flattered. And I said, so why is that? And she said, you did a reading for me here in your place 2 years ago. And you told me, you held my hand. As soon as we sat down at the table, you held my hand. And you heard a song. You started singing a song by AC/DC. Highway to hell. I'm going to highway to hell. And you looked at me and you said, if I don't stop doing what I'm doing, you said, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, you're going to get caught real soon and you're going to end up going to jail. And I would definitely change my ways if I were you. And she said, last time I saw you, I heard what you said, but 1 week later, I got caught at doing something I should not have been doing. And I got thrown in jail for 2 years.
Oh,
and every day I
wow.
woke up and I said to myself, why didn't I listen to Artie? Why didn't I listen to Artie? And, you know, so people have the opportunity to not have to experience certain hardships. But I also give people, I'm a very inspirational reader, you know, in my readings, even if it's not news that you might not like, but a lot of it is. But if you hear something you don't like, well, it's inspirational because you don't have to go through that shit. You don't have to go through that process. So I'm trying to save you a rainstorm or going through hell if you just listen, you know? Yeah. So it's your free will and choice. So you come here for answers. So now I'm trying to, you know, I'm all about giving people back their power, giving people a different perspective on their life and life itself, so you can make healthier choices. A beautiful girl came into my place this morning and she wanted to connect to her husband that she just lost this week. And she wanted to connect to her father. And she sat down and instantly I started giving her a reading instead of connecting to her husband and her father. And I saw where her head was at, you know, and she was going through some major, major challenges in life. And her husband, unfortunately, took his life. And he was going through major challenges and couldn't just do it anymore. So right away, I got right into, as soon as I held her hand, I got right into explaining about her life and the meaning of life and how she should be being to make her life even better than what it was. You don't have to keep on repeating past circumstances. You could break the legacy. So
Mhm.
even though you've had a legacy of family history and genetics for all those years, for all those centuries, you being consciously aware of it, you can change things right now, rather than saying, well, my dad always did it, my grandfather always
Yeah.
did, my
Yeah.
great grandfather. Yeah, but just because they were shoveling horse shit doesn't mean you have to. And just because there was abuse in your history doesn't mean you have to.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's how bad do you want changes? And people are so afraid of changes because when you're going through transformation and changes, that means you have to go through a lot of you have to go through a lot of inconveniences,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and
Change
you have
is
to really
hard.
look at yourself and look at your vulnerabilities. And when you're going through transformation with all these inconveniences, meaning, I'll give you an example. People stay in horrific relationships because, well, they have security. Yes, they're getting beat up
Yeah.
emotionally and or physically, but you know, I don't want to ruin the kids' lives, or at least I have a nice home, or at least I could do this and that. But they are miserable, miserable people. So if I leave this person, you know, I could end up in a shelter. I could end up living in a small home. Well, guess what? If that's what it means to have a better quality of life, wouldn't you rather have a quality of life than have, you know, a Hollywood lifestyle
Yeah.
Yeah,
where it's
exactly.
just pretend? It's just pretend.
Yeah.
It could be beautiful from the street, but you open it up and there's nothing but studs. There's a lot of emptiness inside. So I give people a healthy perspective on how to give back their power. But again, even with that, people are afraid to give up their lifestyle, or even if it's not a good lifestyle, I might got crap, but at least I know the crap I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they've learned how to play the game of life accordingly. And I feel really sorry for those people. I really do.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I know we've had moments in our lives where it's like, okay, you know, what next? What horrible thing is coming next? And it's like, no, we can't think like that. It's like, let's get through
Right.
this and figure out what steps we need to take. We got ourselves in this hole. How do we get ourselves out of it? You know,
Yeah, you don't
Eventually,
want to put
yeah.
you don't want to put negative thoughts or negative words out to anything. Never say what you don't want. Only say what you do want. And I'll give you a perfect example. Somebody say is wanting a relationship, or maybe they don't want a relationship anymore because they just came off a really bad divorce, or they've been divorced 2-3 times before already. I never want to get married again. It's bullcrap. And then all of a sudden they go, you know, I mean, I wouldn't mind a companion, but you know, I don't want an a-hole. I don't want someone who's abusive. I don't want a person who's a drug addict. I don't want somebody who's not in community. Don't say what you don't want. Tell me what you do want. I wish to be in a happy, loving relationship. I wish to be financially secure. I wish to be healthy. I wish to live a very comfortable lifestyle. I wish to be in a loving relationship is what I really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. You know,
I want $1 million and let me throw that positive thing out into the universe.
and even when you ask for a house, say, you know, oh, I would love a beautiful house. So again, how to ask for what it is that you want, you got to really program the universe. I wish to have a beautiful home that I could comfortably afford. That's a healthy, beautiful home that I could comfortably afford. And then describe the house or whatever, but just don't say, I just want a nice house or whatever. Well, what are the conditions? You want to make sure that the conditions of whatever it is you're asking for is good. Say, I just wanted a relationship so bad. So just because someone's available and you're available, you think they're cute or they think you're cute, or, you know, and don't play the song, even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. Because let me tell you something, that ship is going to sail out really on rocky storms because, you know, honestly, unfortunately, people say, you know, money doesn't buy you happiness or money isn't everything. And guess what? I beg to differ, because you never hear wealthy people say, you know, I wish I never had all this.
Yeah, I say the people saying that have money because, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, money isn't everything. And it is money. Put it this way. If everybody who's listening right now And I make no mistake about it. If you had enough money, say you were given $1 million right now, would you stay in the relationship, or would you stay in that house, or would you stay with that job? If you had enough money, because when you have boatloads of money or enough money, it gives you choices and it gives you freedom. That's what money gives for you. It pays your bills, it gives you comfortability, and you could sleep at night. Now, does it buy you emotional happiness? No, it doesn't guarantee you emotional happiness, and it can't buy you love in that sense. It can't buy you love. But can it buy you happiness? 100%. Money can buy you happiness because it gives you the ability to travel and to pay your bills and to give to buy that bed so you could sleep good at night, and to help out other people. So and people say, oh, money's the root to all evil. No, it's the people that's the root to all evil. It's what you choose to do with it. Because when you go to church or you go to temple and they say, oh, you shouldn't ask God for money, and you shouldn't ask for money because it's negative and it's rude. And then after their sermon, they go, all right, we're going to pass around the little basket. If you can make your donation, say, yeah, I'd like to, Father, or I'd like to, Rabbi, but I just heard your sermon. I ain't giving you crap because I don't want to give you evil. I don't want to give you my evil. I'm saving you. Run, Father, run, everybody.
I've never heard it put that way. That's an interesting way to think about it.
So I'm just telling you, it's like people's concepts of happiness and money and love, and go for it all. There's no limitations. The reason why people's lives suck, it's because of your choices. If your life sucks, if it's great, kudos to you. If you're happy with what you got, then kudos to you. And if you live in a cardboard box and you're happy, great. That's excellent. You don't need much really to be happy, but everyone has a different level of what happiness is. It's not just surrounded by money, but it's about your choices in life and the quality of life. Now, I would personally love to be in a healthy, loving relationship, and I've been married a few times. And as I spiritually grew, I just outgrew my relationships. And it's not like, I just wanted to be with that person and be with that person. It wasn't like that at all. I really tried with each one. But you know what? My parents taught me, even without them saying one word, but I learned from their mistakes, because my parents are together for 64 years. And on my parents' 60th wedding anniversary, I said to my mom, Mom, you hung in there 58 years too long. Because it was a miserable marriage. But back then they believed, like, you stick through it, through thick and thin, and my brothers, God bless them, they're both in healthy relationships, where my one brother's married for 40 or with the same girl for 45 years. And my other brother's with the same one for 50 years. I wish I had that, but that wasn't in my cards. Mine was different. So I've learned from watching the sadness of my mother for so many years with my dad. It wasn't all bad, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of good stuff, but there was a lot of bad stuff. And I've learned that after you give it your best shot, if you could compromise with the person you're with, it might not be perfect, and that's fine. But if you could communicate and compromise with each other, then you make the best of it, and you learn to whatever makes you happy. You need to have your life, they need to have their life, and we need to have our life. But you don't live your life through your partner. That's not healthy at all. So when people say the words, when they say their vows, till death do you part, there's two meanings to that word. There's the physical and religious side to that. Physically, when they say till death do you part, you made a vow to your partner, you made a vow to God. When one of you physically drop dead and you move on, till death do you part. The spiritual meaning behind till death do you part, if your heart was to die in the relationship, till death do you part. Not your physical body. If your emotional heart dies in the relationship, know when the show is over. But like I said, if you're having issues or problems, you try to work things out. And if the other person is not willing to compromise, or where it's a give and take situation, if they're not willing to do that, you're in a losing situation. And if you're going to counseling, which I do recommend if people want to go to counseling to fix problems, but again, it takes two people wanting to go to counseling. So, if one person is hard as in it, really wants to work, and the other one's just accommodating or really doesn't want to be in the relationship, but doing it just to appease, you're wasting your time and money.
Yeah.
But if one person says, I'm not going to do any counseling, oh, screw that, I ain't going to counseling. Well, guess what? You are definitely not with the right person, because that means the person's not into their relationship. They're not into you, and they're not thinking about your feelings or the overall circumstances. They only care about themselves, and they only want to survive their relationship. And that's what my mother did. She survived in her relationship with my dad. And I do not want to do that. So that's why with each partner that I was ever with, I really gave it my best shot. And so as the years went on and as I grew, all right, this is the amount of time that we were supposed to spend together. And now I'm going to be with this person or that person. And right now I have female friends, but basically I am on my own, and that's okay.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very
Yeah.
important. It's very important to really feel comfortable within yourself and have that love and appreciation for yourself. And what I always say,
Definitely. Yeah.
and what I always say to people, the love and respect that you give is the love and respect you deserve. And if you allow people to step on you or disrespect you, or it's not just their fault, it's your fault because you're allowing it to happen. And he said, well, they won't stop. Well, they won't stop. Well, then you bow out, you back out, or go for a totally different change if you're not getting the love and respect that you deserve.
Oh,
Or that
yeah.
you're allowing it. So it could be family, friends, lovers, kids, makes no difference.
Yeah. I totally agree. Totally agree. Cause I know, I was engaged 3 times before he was in fiance number 3. And yeah, I totally agree with that. Cause it's like each time it's like, there's just something not right. Not
When you're in
Yeah.
a relationship, there might be a lot of things in common, but there has to be the it factor. There's a chemistry there. And when you have chemistry, then that's the factor. Now, what happens a lot of times, people go, well, they're so afraid of being alone. Well, so what they do is they put the cart before the horse. I want the relationship. I want the house. I want the kids. Yeah, but fall in love first and then build the foundation from there and build and go and move forward on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know so many people like that. It's like, I'm so afraid of being alone that I would rather be with somebody for all the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
but I'm not
Because they
alone.
want security.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's no.
Well, see, that's what
yeah.
that's what happened to our guitar player.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he had a friend that
I was in a band and he found this girl and he just followed
completely
her,
changed who he
changed
was, completely
Well,
so that he
yeah.
could be with her. And it's like,
yeah.
no, you shouldn't completely,
Yeah, if you have to change who you are, don't get me wrong, there are adjustments
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
when you're
of
in a
course.
relationship. There are
Adjustment and
adjustments
compromise. Yes.
and there's compromise, and that's a healthy relationship. And communication, that's a relationship. If one person's a communicator and the other person isn't, doesn't call for a great relationship at all.
Yeah.
It might be doable. You might survive your relationship, but do you want to survive your life or do you want to live your life? So, and it's up to you. And people pick and choose, and then they pick and choose to bitch and complain forever about everything and anything. It's like, really?
Oh yeah. I trust me. I think we've encountered like everybody you've been talking about in our lives.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think everybody has, when they hear that description, they can be like, oh, that's just like my friend Susie, who, nothing is ever right in her life and all she does is complain, and you try to find solutions for them. And then eventually you're like, they are sucking my soul out. I can't do this anymore. And yeah, it's like, I've just got to let go and let God with you. Cause
Yeah, they'll just wallow in
Yeah,
their
they
misery
will-
instead
they will
of
just
actually
swallow
Misery
your
loves
soul.
company. Misery
Yeah.
loves company. They like to vent. And when they're bitching and complaining to you, they're really not looking for answers. They just want your ear so they could vent.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I have friends like that need to vent, but I've I've had some friends where it's like,
Well, when venting
There-
becomes a serial venting,
yeah,
and they're not offering any
Well,
solutions
that's what I mean. That's
afterward.
what I
Yeah,
mean.
exactly.
Yeah.
There are people who will always have times where they just want to bitch to get things off their chest
yeah,
or think out loud or something like that, and I feel like a lot of times it is very good to see a therapist because you want somebody who's not just pro you, but you want somebody who is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Open-minded to give you a clear thought on reality and not just go, yeah, Cheryl, you go girl. And yeah, your best friend. Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. And I wouldn't. It's like, you don't want people just to agree with you because you're friends.
yeah.
You want somebody to be very unconditional. And sometimes, there's a girl who I'm hanging out with right now, and she's getting really upset with me because she's in a very vulnerable position, and I do not like her choices at all. And I will just tell her my thoughts and feelings about it, and she doesn't like it. And I'm being honest, raw.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you're being honest,
Trying to be compassionate in some ways. I do try to help, but I will tell it. I will really try to tell it like it is. The number one thing that screws up people's lives, believe it or not, in relationships, and it's not just a lover's relationship, it could be in many facets of relationships, expectations.
yes.
Yes.
People have such expectations that if you let go of expectations and accept, now really pay attention. This is a cliche, what I'm going to say to you, but pay attention to the words. It is what it is. It really is what it is. It
Oh, yeah.
only
Yeah.
is what it is. It only is what it is according to the energy of what you give it. So if you accept your partner or the other person or friend for who they are, you could adjust yourself to accept whatever it is, how they are or who they are. But if you're always arguing with them because I don't like the way you are, or you could be a better person, but they don't want to change, or they just want to be who they are. Now you need to learn to accept your parents or accept your lover or your friends for who they are. Accept them with no expectation. If you could have a communication, great. But if not, it's up to you. How much bull crap are you willing to accept? Accept them or the situation for what it is. And then you could heal, or you could just let it go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
that
it's
makes
people's
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's people's expectations that screw you up. And so if things do not work according to plan A, okay, what's plan B? And if plan B, all right, what's plan C? Have a plan B and a plan C always lined up.
I'm sorry. It's just
She says that all the time.
my
She's
mother. That was
big
my
into that.
mother's big thing. And I'm just having a moment because it's like, did she just slip that into your head or something?
I'm sure
she
she did. There's a reason why I say what I say.
Because she always said, have a plan A and a plan B. And sometimes I'm starting to cry. Sometimes you have to move on down the alphabet. And if you get to plan Z and you still haven't figured it out, then you're screwed. And like I said, I'm having a moment because that was like one of her big things was always have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C, and don't be afraid to move down that alphabet. So
right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's why I kind of started laughing when you said that. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, are you in the room? Hello?
And that happens. That happens all the time. I
Yeah.
say things inadvertently, not realizing what I'm saying, but that is how the spiritual world, I had no clue whatsoever what I was going to talk about with you guys when we first started. I just went with it and said whatever came in the moment. I have no prerequisite of topics or whatever it is I'm going to say or whatever.
Well, see,
because I was listening to you guys and what you wanted to question. It just one thing led to another.
And see, we did. Yeah, he was like, well, what questions do you have? And I'm like, I kind of want to roll into this and just see where it goes. Because
she's like, I just want to roll with it, baby.
I just want to roll with it.
We'll just figure it out, baby, as
We'll
we
just
go
go
along.
with it, see what happens. you
What's funny is that
know.
we're pretty much like that. It's whatever you throw at us, we're just gonna roll with it and just move on. That's pretty
Yeah,
much how we
I don't know how
dealt
many
with
times we've
things.
woken up and it's like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing today.
This, yeah,
Cool.
exactly. This
you
is
know.
happening now. I guess
So-
we're doing this. So yeah.
And we've had a lot thrown at us. So yeah, that having that moment now. Okay. Anybody else I know want to talk to me? I'm open to it. If somebody's saying something to you, go ahead, throw it at me. Might as well.
And I'm always interested in hearing about that, because I think a lot of it comes from being wired a certain way to a certain degree. And just because you have the ability to do something doesn't mean I don't have the ability to recognize it, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to keep myself open to that, even though I can't see anything or feel like the blah, 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 blah. I'm still interested in what people can come up with as far as what they see and what I can't. So
Yeah.
it's not that I don't believe, it's just I can't experience it.
Because I know a
Who
few
is the one
times,
Who is the one that really likes white?
like
The color white.
the color white.
The color white or ivory white. And I'm seeing a motherly figure was saying, go with the white, or are you thinking about painting or whatever? But I'm hearing, go with white, go with the white, go with the ivory white.
I don't know. That could be for you. I
You'll
don't know.
understand it. You'll understand
I
it.
will probably understand it, because the only thing I can think of is going back to my mother. She always
Hold
wanted
on.
hair. She always wanted hair like this, totally white,
White.
totally white. And she never got it. She got the salt and pepper. And her dad had like a head full of this gorgeous silvery white hair. One of her best friends had totally white hair. And this is what
And
mom
that's
wanted.
it. Then that's it. Then that's your
And-
mother going through about white. I want the white. I like the white. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm hearing. And I felt that that's her channeling. I thought she was talking about walls or clothes or something, but yeah, no, being that you could relate to that color and relate to it, then yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
And
that's the
she's
only thing,
saying, I like
because
the white. Go with the white. I want the white.
yeah, because my niece is my hairdresser, and we finally gave in and stopped trying to do colors that weren't happening and just went with the white. And yeah,
Hey, listen,
Interesting.
it's
Well, it
all white
works.
with me if it's all white with you.
Yeah.
there we go. There we go. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I know he's been freaked out a few times, and I don't know if you've ever encountered this. Our daughter is autistic and
Very high functioning.
very high functioning, but when she was younger, and she's kind of grown out of it, which is kind of a sadness for me, but she would say things that there's like, how in the heck would you know this? It's like when she was little, she's like, well, I want to watch Shrek with dad. I want to watch Shrek with dad. Well, he's in New York and we're in Indiana. And I'm like, you can't watch Shrek with dad. And then he comes home and he's like, yeah, the other night I was watching Shrek and thinking about you guys. And, and stuff like that. And I have heard, and I don't know if you've heard, that there's a theory out there that people with autism, their brains like function on a different wavelength, so they're more
It's not
open.
a theory, it's a fact.
Is it? Okay.
It's a fact.
Because yeah, she would frequently, it's like, I'm searching for my keys everywhere, and she's like, did you check the phone book? I'm like, don't be a smart ass. Where are my keys? And she's like, check the phone book. And I'm like, you're insane. And I'm searching and searching and searching. And I look over, there's phone books stacked on the floor and papers on top of the phone book. And you can tell there's something underneath the papers. Took the papers off. There's my keys. It's like, yeah. And
Yes. So she had very strong psychic abilities.
yeah. And she's even in a book called Ghost Hunter's Guide to Indianapolis. Because I used to belong to a paranormal research group, and we were at Hannah House. And this is back when she could still walk on crutches, because she's also physically handicapped. And she looked into the dining room and she was like, oh, there's an angel. And of course, we're all like, trying to see what she's seeing. And there, we're not seeing anything.
Yeah, she sees on a different vibration. It's not a physical vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
And
spiritual vibration, and she has that capability to see things spiritually.
yeah, it was just, like I
Everybody
said,
in the
she's
group
kind of,
is like, was trying to see it.
yeah, we're all trying to see
Yeah.
it. And, we're like, and I could always use the excuse of, well, mom doesn't have on her glasses. I can't see. What are you seeing? Can you describe it? And she's like, oh, it's a lady. She's got a pretty white dress on. And she's just kind of standing there. And then she's gone now. And then she just walks away. And
Like it's nothing.
yeah, and I know
Yeah.
it, every time she would do something like this, it would scare the crap out of him. And I was always be like, did she sound scared? Because if she didn't sound scared, then you don't need to be scared. Because as long as she doesn't sound, as long as she's not scared by it.
See, but
Then-
that's her reality.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
her reality. It's not his.
Yeah.
Because people's brain wavelengths function differently. It's like why you have electricians and why you have brain surgeons and Einsteins,
Exactly.
engineers. You have people who just use and psychics and mediums and nurses. They just have a different mindset to be able to do things or handle things or create things, or an artist, a very gifted artist. I wish I had a talent, to play music or to draw and stuff like that. But it takes a particular part of your brain to be able to like do it or develop it or function, to be able to do such beautiful magic, if you will. So everybody, and that's what makes the world go round, because everybody has different talents and gifts and abilities. So the unfortunate thing is there are people who have such beautiful gifts, but because they're born into a family of accountants or born into a family of funeral parlor director, but yet their brain function is totally on the opposite end. And they always say, well, no, we always went to Penn State and we always did this and we always went, and our family went to Boston University. So you're going to be Boston University. But it's not who they are. You should learn how to appreciate each individual for who they are and not compare them to anybody else and find out what makes them tick. I had to fight that growing up because I was so opposite of my entire family. And, growing up in a Jewish family, you go to school, you get a good job with a company and you grow and you live happily ever after, you get a pension all night. So not me. And, it is what it is. It is what it is. But, but they try to change me. They try to make me more like that stereotype, and didn't work for them at all. But I just stayed true to myself. And, and I had to break a lot of chains, emotional, mental chains, so that I could be who I am. And I think I did a pretty good job over the years. I think I did pretty well. And I wouldn't be here speaking to you if I followed that protocol.
That's
You
true.
know,
Oh,
so-
yeah. Well, same here.
Yeah. That's true.
So you
Well,
have to be
Yeah.
sometimes, what was it? Dr. Seuss said, if you want to be outstanding, you have to also be able to stand out.
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
So
And let
don't be-
yourself be able to stand out.
Yeah. That's words to
So-
think on. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's funny, so here I am. I've learned to develop the ability to communicate with spirits and angels and the Holy Spirit, and they open my mind and they send me messages, random messages, whatever. And it's funny because they say that if you talk to God, they call it prayer. But if God talks to you, they call it schizophrenia.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's a fine line. It's a fine line. Can you think of anything, or are you just kind of soaking this all in?
I'm soaking it all
Are
in
you
and
soaking?
observing.
Okay.
So
I didn't-
just
I-
seeing
I wanna-
seeing you two kind of communicate as far as on the same level consciously. It's like I just have fun observing that.
Okay.
So I know, like I said, I'm open to all this. It's just that I just can't experience it. So
Okay.
So
Okay.
to go off the topic just a touch,
Sure,
Sure.
you can talk about whatever you want.
I'm the one who goes into like hard stores or novelty stores. And if I see something funny, I'll read it. And I'm the one that laughs out loud. Like I don't hold back if I see something really funny.
Sure.
And most likely, if it's making me laugh that much, I will have to buy it because I want to keep it with me and I want to share it. So I got these tiles while I was in Rhode Island. And it just makes me laugh. And I think you're going to really, really appreciate it. So this one tile says, I don't think inside the box. I don't think outside the box either. I don't even know where the box is.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Hold on.
And then the
No,
other
it's-
tile, wait, listen, there's
Uh-huh.
a few more. I just find it funny. So this one says, deja vu. It's like the meaning of deja vu. I feel like I've heard this crap before.
There you go.
And then this other one says, you drink too much, you gossip too much, you have questionable morals, you're everything I ever wanted in a friend.
I like that one. That one
There you go.
covers a lot of my friends. Yeah.
And then this one, everyone could relate to. I'm trying to be independent, but no one will help me.
There you go.
There you go. Perfect. Well, I honestly, you've given me a lot to think about, a lot to absorb. I can't think of anything else seriously that I want to ask you.
Let's go. You know what? You
Yeah,
can
if
always
mom,
come
if mom
back.
talks to you again, tell her I said hi.
Well, like I said, he can always come back.
Yeah, you can always come back if you
So yeah.
if you have anything else you want to talk about, or
So I'm gonna share with you an interesting story, and it's in my book, Angels and Answers.
Okay.
okay.
This is a story that I think you'll appreciate. So here I am, I'm doing a reading for this one woman, and her time was up. You know, when I do parties, people hire me to do Artie parties, so psychic parties, and I go to people's homes and I read for their friends and family.
Mhm.
It could be in a group where everyone's in one room, or most of my parties are individual readings where they put me in a private room and I read for them. So I did a reading for this one lady, and her time was up. And you know, when I connect to people's loved ones, I usually look at a picture of whoever it is they show me a picture of. So I was reading for this one woman's mother, and after her reading was over, she says, "You know, Art," she goes, "I'm having a hard time that you are actually communicating to my mom." I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, you told me things that were kind of general, but I do admit they did have to do with her. But then again, you did also tell me things that were very specific detail that also had to do with her. So I give you credit on that. But I'm having a hard time with the concept that you're actually communicating to my mother." I says, "I don't know what to tell you." I says, "I can only share with you with whatever thoughts come to me."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, let me see your mother's picture one more time." So I look at the mother's picture and I said, "Your mom is showing me cows." She goes, "Well, what do you want me to do with that?" I said, "I don't know. Your mom is showing me cows." So in my mind, I saw all the cows. There's about 12 of them. I saw all cows stand up and they were all mooing. And so I looked at her and I said, "I don't know why I'm doing this, but moo." And she started to cry. And I go, "What's the matter?" And she points to her mother's picture. She goes, "That's her name." I go, "What are you talking about?" "Her name's Muriel, but everyone would call her Mo."
Oh,
Oh my gosh. That's
so you
crazy.
never know what you're getting, what it
Yeah.
means. Yeah. Oh,
And that's what I'm saying. So I get
yeah.
these messages and it's like it meant the world to them, but I don't know, you know, I
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
I deliver the message, you know?
Yeah. Interesting.
So
Very
I was
cool.
doing a reading for this one lady at another party, and she was a few years older than me. And she goes, "Art, before you start," she goes, "I got to stop you." I go, "What's that?" She goes, "You read for me here at this house 2 years ago when she had a party here 2 years ago. And you told me that I needed to started to take up gambling because you saw me winning thousands and thousands of dollars. And I told you at that time, I am not a gambler. And you said to me, well, I would either go to Atlantic City. You know, you told me to go to Atlantic City or start doing scratch offs because you saw me winning thousands and thousands of dollars." She goes, now that it's 2 years later, she goes, I'm still not a gambler. I still don't gamble. But let me tell you what happened 6 months later after that reading.
Mhm.
It was my birthday 6 months later after that reading. And I had my boys come over to my house to celebrate my birthday. So one of my boys got me a birthday card and he put 5, those $2 birthday scratch offs. And my first $2 scratch off birthday, I scratched off and I won $50,000.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Should I go get scratch offs? Just tell me. Just wink. Just wink. If
Go
I should go
ahead.
get scratch offs.
I'm just saying, maybe maybe I'm just talking out of out of the ethers. Maybe you should start playing a little scratch off here or
There
there.
you go.
Yeah, I say just wink if we should get scratch offs. It's okay. You can just you don't have to say it out loud, man. Just
I'll just
wink.
go, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
There you
Some
go.
sort of something.
So, but when I'm in that zone, it's like, sometimes when people ask me for lottery numbers, I can never give the lottery numbers when I'm asked for it. But
Mhm.
when I'm in that spiritual zone, and if your loved ones are through, and I've given out well over 100 winning lottery numbers, but it has to pull through spiritually. And when I see
organically, yeah.
numbers, I
Yeah.
say, play the numbers. Now, the thing is, I can't play those numbers because it will never come out. But when I give it, most of the times it will come out. So,
Hmm.
Well,
But-
if you think of them after we say goodbye, just text me, email,
There
did
you
your mom, did she enjoy watching Carol Burnett?
she didn't, but my grandmother did.
Oh, your grandmother did.
My
Okay.
grandmother did. Yeah.
Okay. Because when you said, if we're, when we say goodbye, because I just felt like saying, what was that by Carol Burnett? I'm so glad we had this time together.
Yeah.
Just have a laugh or sing a song. And then before you know it.
Yeah.
And
My
so she did
grandmother.
this.
Yeah. All that Lawrence Welk, Carol Burnett,
Ed Sullivan, all
yeah.
those fun old shows. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I would spend time at their house. That would be what was on TV. So
And somebody used to go, there was somebody also significant, something with the knuckle sandwich or show me your knuckles. There was something important with the knuckles or give you a finger sandwich or a knuckle sandwich. There was something with that as well.
Well, there's always To the Moon, Alice.
yeah, no, but I'm just wondering.
It's something about with the
because
knuckles.
My dad hated the sound of cracking knuckles.
Oh, okay.
Of cracking. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of associated with knuckles. If you would stand there and crack your knuckles in front of him, he would just be like, stop that. So that's the only thing I can think of is he hated that sound. If you
And
would crack your
Danny or
knuckles.
David?
Huh?
Donnie, Danny, David.
I have a few Davids in my family, but none that have passed.
One of them is having a problem with breathing, and they need to take there's one of them is having a problem with the shortness of breath, and they need to go get themselves checked out like ASAP.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think I know who that is. Yeah. And it's
Because
probably
they got some serious issues going on with their heart or their lungs.
okay. Yeah. Sorry, it's just that might have come from my dad who died from lung cancer, but I know who he's talking about. So yeah, okay.
Okay.
I know who that's about. Yeah, definitely.
I think I do too, but
yeah, sorry, having a moment.
That's good.
well, her father passed from lung cancer.
Yeah, and I know exactly who they're talking about. So yeah.
And there seems to be something very significant around Valentine's Day, a birth date or anniversary of.
Plus, my daughter's birthday is the 11th.
And his dad's birthday is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And your
Yeah.
dad crossed. Your dad crossed, right?
My dad crossed, but
Where's dad?
yeah, my dad
Mine's still alive.
his is still alive. My dad passed in January of 2011.
Yeah, no,
But
but I was getting more connected then with your daughter and
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
with your
she's-
dad and stuff. And they have a pretty good bond together, don't they?
Yes, they did.
yes, they do. Yes,
Yeah,
they do.
because I'm seeing that special connection that they have. And your daughter will always be able to communicate with your dad even after the fact,
Yeah.
many moons down
Okay.
the road. So, but yeah, they do have that special bond, that special love that I see.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. They definitely do. They definitely do.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
and who's the Beatles fanatic? Who likes the Beatles? Who likes the Beatles?
That would be Maddie. Her whole bathroom is Beatles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has a poster of Yellow Submarine in the bathroom.
Yeah. And Yellow Submarine
And we
shower
list-
curtain and
And we listen to Good Night.
yeah, and Good Night by the Beatles is the bedtime song. So yeah.
That's cool.
So
And
nailed
one of my clients just mailed me for the holidays. Actually, it's belated, and I just got in the mail today, and it's a really nice Beatles shirt.
Oh,
She
sweet.
says, "What
Awesome.
shirt do you like?" And I said, "What's your favorite group?" I said, "The Beatles." So she gave me a variety to pick from, so I picked one. And that's how I learned how to speak with a British accent, by listening to the Beatles speak for so long. And the funny thing is like when I go to a restaurant, I'll go to a restaurant and the waitress will go, "Oh, they usually say, 'So how are you doing today?' And I look at them, I said, 'I'm doing absolutely marvelous today, love.' I said, 'How are you doing today?' And they go, 'Oh my God, I love your accent. Where are you from?' I go, 'Can't you tell?' I said, 'I'm from Central Jersey. We all speak like this.'"
There you go.
There you
So-
go.
And she goes, "No, really, where are you from?" I go, "No, really, that's where I'm from." I said, "No, I'm just playing with you." I said, "This is my accent. This is my voice, lady. Hey, what do you want from me, lady? This is the way I speak, all right?"
There you go. There you go. Well, we unfortunately have to wrap it up because I could seriously talk to you for like hours.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't have the money to hire you for a party, or I would. You'd fly to Indiana for that, wouldn't you?
I would, yes. My attitude is, if you're buying, I'm flying.
There we
There you go.
go.
There you
There
go.
we go. But once again, we have been talking to Artie Hoffman, psychic, relationship guru. It sounds like
Medium,
yeah,
life
medium.
coach.
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, go ahead and give out where they could reach you or see you. Or
So if anybody wants, I'm just as accurate over the phone as I am
Mhm.
in person, because I'm in Central Jersey. And my number is 732-778-7173. 732-778-7173. Or you can email me, Artie Hoffman at Gmail, ARTIE Hoffman, HOFFMAN at Gmail. And every Sunday night, I do free readings, 8 p.m. Eastern time, on my Facebook Live show.
okay.
I have a
Okay.
Facebook Live show called Angels and Answers. So if you go to Artie Hoffman's Angels and Answers Sunday evening, you'll see me. I have an assistant, Mona Lisa, who's behind the scenes, and she reads off the questions as people are typing in their questions, and I just answer people's questions like that. And I joke around like I am with you guys. I joke around, I talk about life, and I answer people's questions, connect to people's loved ones. So I'll leave you with this little funny tidbit. Oh, and I want everyone to join
hold on.
please,
Go
if
ahead.
you could join my TikTok.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Just
Sorry,
let him know.
our daughter needs help.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's
I'll keep
fine.
going though.
So, but if people could join my TikTok, I'd appreciate it, because I wanted to start I need 1,000 followers. So TikTok is Artie Hoffman with 5 7s, Artie Hoffman 77777 and all.
Okay.
So when girls ask me this question, my common answer to them, they'll ask me the question, "Artie, do you see me getting pregnant soon?" And I say, "Yeah, when you stop watching my show and get in the bedroom, your odds are going to go way up."
I can can see that. I can see that. Yes, definitely.
But I want to
Okay.
thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on our show. And like I said, you can come back anytime. Given me a lot of stuff to think about. You know, a lot of stuff to chew on. So
Yes,
thank you
I
for
hear you.
that. Thank you.
Cool. That's what I'm all about.
Okay. Well, you have a great
Well,
evening, rest of your
all right.
evening. We'll see you
Thank you,
later.
sweetheart. It was
Okay.
a pleasure. It was a
Pleasure.
pleasure.
Definitely. Definitely.
All right.
Thank
Stay
you.
well, honey.
You
Stay
too.
well.
Okay, so that was Artie Hoffman. I'm not used to wrapping things up by myself, but real life happens sometimes. And our daughter needed some assistance. So dad jumped right on in. So I guess I should probably jump right on in. But this has been Drunken Housewife Reviews with a wonderful interview with Artie Hoffman. Very eye-opening interview with Artie Hoffman. Check out his books on Amazon. Go to his Facebook page, Angels and Demons, and check him out. And we will see you. We have an interview tomorrow with Einar Haraldsson. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He's an Icelandic former police officer turned actor. So it's going to be our first international interview. So yeah, so thank you for joining us, and we'll check you out next time.